Okay, guys, so we are only a couple days away from having France release their side to play Scotland in this weekend's matchup. Now, we are in the brink of seeing France lift this trophy, right? They are so close to be crowned the Six Nations champions. And today I want to break down their chances and have a little match preview before we hear the actual lineups. So before I get started, please like and subscribe, as it really, really does help my channel grow. And I just want to be providing you guys with the best content possible. So without further ado, let's break into it. Now, first of all, the big thing that's on everybody's lips is Antoine Dupont. France are going to be without him. Yes, it is a big blow, but can France handle it? Yes, they can. They have some serious talent in the line, just waiting for that chance. In the likes of Luku, who had a spectacular game up against Ireland and absolutely dominated in every single aspect of the game. Then you have Nolan Le Garec, who he's that superstar, the young Frenchman, who he's just waiting for his chance to burst on into the international scene. He's already been making some strides. He's already shown people what he's capable of. He's shown Galtier what he's capable of, but he needs more experience. Are we going to see him get a little bit more experience now up against Scotland? Or could we see the likes of the experienced Serin get more game time under Galtier and play for France? So we could see a different, a couple different players potentially getting that scrum half position. But who do you guys think is going to get that position? Because personally, I think Galtier, he's going to go for good, well trusted Luku, and then potentially have someone in the back. But the way Galtier has been liking to go, he's been liking that 7-1 split. So I can definitely see seven forwards and then potentially having a Nolan Le Garec sitting in their sidelines. But hey, we are we are still going to see, because Serin, he can play also multiple positions very, very well, which would add a little bit more flexibility to Galtier's side if needed, and also cover up a couple different positions as well. But I guess only time will tell in relation to that. We are going to be having the lineups announced relatively soon, so I cannot wait. Now, next on my list is the actual prospect of facing Scotland. All right. Scotland are by far no joke. We saw what they did up against Wales. Wales did put in an inspiring performance, and honestly, France are no Wales. We've seen what they are capable of doing in the second half of that Ireland game. We've seen the best and we've seen the worst of them. We've seen them being complacent up against England. We've seen them absolutely dominate when it comes to Wales. And we've seen them struggle through a lot of pain when it comes to Ireland. But what always shows up is their attacking prowess, their attacking presence is one of the best in world rugby, right? They are quite possibly the team with the most attacking flair out there right now. And I say that as a Springbok, right? I say that as a Springbok, saying France have some of the best and brightest talents, especially in those backs, with the likes of Atisogbe, Damien Penaud. You have Luis Bielbiere. You have Nolan Le Garec. You have Leo Barre. You know, it's just like, what the hell is with this talent here? Even players like Mofana, Barassi, Bundy, not Bundyaki, he's bloody Irish. Um, you have players like Thomas Ramos, who's still relatively young. You know, they haven't even cracked 30. So they have some serious, serious, serious talent here on show. And not only that, they are building for the future. So they have one of the youngest sides. And you look at the talent like Giard, who's just phenomenal. And you look at the game that he had, was absolutely, absolutely brilliant. You know, they have such serious, serious talent on their books, and they're just waiting to be unleashed. So there is a lot of talent here on show, and they are only getting better. So by the time it reaches the 2027 World Cup, we are going to be seeing tried and tested monsters. And you look at BLBLA, you look at the damage that he's done throughout the Six Nations. This guy, he's breaking records left, right, and center. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes to this final day up against Scotland and he breaks a couple more records. That's the kind of player that he is. So the guy, he's got everything you could want. But Scotland, like I say, they are no joke. They are not to be fooled about with. You saw the likes of Darcy Graham, that performance that he put in. He's slick, he's quick, he's just such an agile player. And you see him go from the wings down into that center. He can, he's a constant nuisance. You have the likes of Duhan van der Merwe, the giant winger, who's just got that attacking prowess. He's so good at running with the ball. He's just complete power, pace, and, just that hardy winger who's a nightmare to play up against. So he can do a lot of damage. But then not only that, you have the intelligence of Tom Jordan, who, as we saw in the last game, he just so happens to be at the right place at the right time. And this happens more often than not. So it's not necessarily a case of luck. It's more a case of predicting things, predicting where it's going to be, what could potentially happen, and putting himself in the right place. Right? You have the likes of Hugh Jones. You have the likes of Finn Russell, who we finally saw a proper performance up against Wales with Finn Russell. We saw him converting. We saw his passing range, his kicking ability was on point, right? And those are the backs. Never mind, you have the players like Schoolman, who he is an absolute monster. They have some serious talent that is just there waiting to be consistent. And this is the thing with Scotland. They just are not consistent. One week they are great, the next they are not. So if they are able to find that fine balance, they are such a destructive team. But it also comes down to what kind of game Finn Russell is having. We've seen when he has a horrible game, everything starts to fall apart. Mistakes are happened. Mistakes are made. Defenses are broken. He's not creative. There's no cohesion between the forwards, between the backs. The backs are slower than they normally are, and honestly, you don't want that. Having that brilliant partnership between Ben White and Finn Russell is that combination that you really want to be seeing working like a well-oiled engine. And like I say, when Finn Russell is not having a bad day, he's his own worst enemy. So it's really going to come down to how well Finn Russell plays, because when he's playing his game, that guy is damn near unstoppable. So honestly, I have Ireland to win. Sorry, Ireland. I have France to win. I have them taking Scotland and kind of running away with it. And the Scottish might hate me, but I am going for a 15-point win. I mean, a gap of 15 points plus a bonus point for France. So yes, more than 4 tries from France. And if they played anything like they did up against Ireland after they lost Antoine Dupont, I can definitely see this happening. But I want to hear what you guys think in relation to this. What do you guys think the score is going to be? Who do you think are going to be the main players? Those outliers that are really, really going to make a difference, because Scotland are stacked with quality, and players like Blair Kinghorn, players like Hugh Jones, Tom Jordan, Duhan, Darcy Graham, which are just so creative. They're so explosive. You never know what's going to happen. We've seen Blair Horn. He's racking up charts, individual charts like there's no tomorrow. I think he currently holds first position or first and second position on an individual category more than anybody else in the Six Nations. So this is what it shows. Scotland are so good individually, but they struggle as a team, right? So they need to get that right, especially if they want to take points out of France. Now, France do have a couple of potential ways of winning the Six Nations, and it's gonna come a lot down to chance. I think so. France can still win the Six Nations even if they lose, in the event that Scotland doesn't get a bonus point, and I think England and Ireland lose their games respectively. But I think and I think Scotland would need to cover that points difference, which is a big, big points difference, to have that happen, right? Um, but I think generally, if France is to win with a bonus point because of their points difference as well, that would get them the win that they need, and you know we will see France, winning the Six Nations and crushing those dreams of the Irish winning it for a record third time in a row, right? But it's going to take a lot. Scotland is no joke. They are a serious, serious team, and they are not to be overlooked, right? But do I think France have enough to take out the Scotland side? I do. And that is just my personal opinion. I do feel you're looking at the France squad, even without Antoine Dupont, they will just have too much there, too strong, too fast, and too creative. I think with the likes of Luku, which I'm pretty certain he is going to be starting, his the pace that he plays this ball, the tempo that he forces you to keep as well, is ridiculous. His game management, understanding what needs to be done and when it needs to be done, and making those key decisions in the key moments, that is not something that you are born with. It's not something you have talent with. It is something that you learn through experience. And Luku has that experience. So to dominate the Scottish side, to understand who's doing what needs to be done, and when it needs to be done, this guy has bundles, and you know he's just got ridiculous experience. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Maybe I'm talking absolute BS and you think I'm completely wrong. Maybe you think we're going to see Scotland absolutely destroy France and, cause a major, major upset. Although I think that's going to be highly unlikely. That's not impossible, right? But having France win is also going to come down to a couple of things depending on how well they play, but also how well England and Ireland play, because they are still all in the runnings. Yes, things need to go their way, but anything is possible. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.